Content warning before the video even begins. There are a lot of dark and heavy topics that are talked about. Things like suicide, sexual assault, sexual encounters, self-harm, all the above, you name it. There's a lot. To everyone who has been up to date on this situation, you are probably just as confused as I was. So what I have done is I have compiled together everything that I have found, and I have started connecting the dots myself. I made a document. I will post this in the description below. You're welcome to go and take a look at it. There is a lot of stuff here. There's a lot of information that I had to pull from, and I'm going to narrate it as well if you do not want to read it, because why not? This video is not going to be monetized because I want everybody to, be able to listen to this uninterrupted, and also because this is for informational purposes. By no means am I on anybody's side even now. I do kind of have an opinion, I guess you could call it, on what actually ended up happening, and that is only because I have quite literally looked at everything. Now you're welcome to interpret everything that I have shown in this video as you may. I'm not going to force an opinion down your throat, because you're welcome to have your own, and you're welcome to have one that's different from mine. After all, opinions are like assholes. We all got them. Anyway, I'll go ahead and say this, because I know if I don't say it, there is going to be there's a mob, okay? And if I don't say it, I just gotta get it off. To all my Zeal, defenders, I'm not on your side. I'm not defending Zeal in this at all. I'm just simply pointing out bullshit where I see it. To all of my Ren supporters, I am not on your side either. I am doing my best to remain neutral in this entire situation. And when you look at this document, you're going to see a lot of stuff that calls out Ren. But that is because a lot of the lying and a lot of the borderline omission is from her. So I have tried to include everything in this document, and it even says in my little please read this that I'm prone to making mistakes. So, please keep that in mind. I'm not a perfect person, and I'm not going to pretend like I am. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into today's video. The document starts by saying, "Hello, Internet. I am Zombie. I am currently making this document to connect all the dots on the events that happened during the Ren and Zeal RDC 2025 incident. I will try my best to keep things as organized as possible, but due to the nature of this situation, it is very messy. I have looked at all of the documents so far, and as of April 18th, 2026, which is yesterday, I am up to date on everything that has come out. If new information is released while I am drafting this document, I will update it with a edit insert date so that you guys can see my edits and annotations. I know we are getting tired of all the Google Docs. However, it is extremely important to have this as a springboard of sorts, because right now there is so much to comprehend. Please read this. I am prone to making mistakes. Clip this one, guys, because I know Twitter's going to eat this up. I am prone to making mistakes. If I leave out any information, please tell me. I am having to go through hundreds of messages across multiple documents to try and understand the larger picture. I am not trying to omit information. There is just so much of it. Also, sorry for typos that might come up, and if I mispronounce words, because I don't know if you guys saw in the last video, but I kind of suck at doing that. I assume that you are reading this document, knowing what has been going on. And then here are all of the documents that I have linked. These are all the ones that I have pulled information from. So this is Zeal's document. This is Ren's document, original document, which has gotten archived, and it's on this link right here. And for some of the other screenshots, there was another info doc that had everything that was kind of left out that shouldn't have been left out, and it has been confirmed as true. So just putting out there that these are all of the sources that I used. Anyway, let's go connect these dots. And I have to scroll back up. All right. So I have color coded this, color coding it so that you guys can see where the information is coming from. The Ren document will be in blue. The Zeal document will be in orange, and other screenshots that have come from other people will be marked as pink. If a screenshot is marked as pink, but it could have come from Zeal's document, That's because I found it on that third source that I was talking about. So just bear in mind with that there. So if it does come from Zeal's document, I will go back and change it. Just let me know. I will also be providing annotations of my own with a highlighter. Red means something contradicts. Green means something lines up. There's not a lot of line up. I will go ahead and say that now. All right. Let's go ahead and dive into this. Looking at segment 1. Looking back on the opening statement. The box in blue from Wren's document reads, on the night of September 3rd, 2025 in San Jose, California, 2 days before RDC began, Zeal, developer of Pressure on Roblox, sexually assaulted me in my hotel room. I had been crying, and he had offered to come to my room to comfort me and hug me. After over an hour of constant crying, I was emotionally exhausted and completely alone with him. I went limp and nonverbal. I did not consent. He pinned my arms above my head. He did not stop. What I have written, is that there is no telling what actually happened in the room that night. Zeal claims there was verbal consent, while Wren does not. Zeal states in his document, the interactions between me and Wren were entirely consensual. The messages from Wren were encouraging in nature, both under, and after RDC? Okay. Under and after RDC, and did in no way indicate any form of displeasure. And the third bullet point reads, Wren retroactively decided that our encounter constituted an assault once I had declined to continue our relationship weeks after RDC. I have written, however, there is evidence that suggests there was no consent, and Zeal himself omitted this information in his own document. I will go ahead and say right now, I have looked over that document probably about 4 times, right? I could not find really anything except for this. This is like the biggest thing. I'm only going to be hitting like the big things here, but they are both cherry picking. So let's go ahead and put that on the table and just make sure that everybody is aware here that both parties are fucking cherry picking. Okay. What does that screenshot read? The screenshot is the following. I'm going to zoom in here so you guys can see it. We're going to go here. All right. The screenshot reads, Wren says, it's not that we don't have a connection. I'm so into you and I've been thinking about you nonstop. Just got to do it the right way. I'll guide you. And also, one more thing. You don't touch and do stuff without my permission. You got to ask me, can I? May I do this? May I do that? And say it so I can feel ready. Last night was messy. You just ripped everything off and did stuff without asking, but I don't know, was really overwhelmed and went nonverbal. And it's okay. Zeal says, sorry. Wren says, you're fine. You were just excited. You were excited. My bad. Zeal says, yeah. Or I was. Yeah. Wren replies to this. Just says, you were a fucking feral animal. It's funny. I didn't hate it. I just didn't feel ready fast enough because it needs time and love and care and foreplay and words. You need to say things to me. That's how nice and fun sex happens. It's not like porn. It's really unrealistic. They're professionals. Holy fuck. Oh my God. Already struggling and we're not even 5 minutes. Oh, we're like 8 minutes in. Never mind. It's not like porn. It's really unrealistic. They're not professionals. They're actors. Porn is for a quick rub. Sex is intimate. Zoom back out here. This was after the alleged sexual assault. Reading this, you can see that, this is what I said, by the way. Reading this, you can see that Wren is expressing her concerns to Zeal to ask for permission, in parentheses, ask for consent, during their next encounter. However, underlined, this string of DMs is very confusing, as Wren is telling Zeal it's okay and I didn't hate it, which complicates how we, the reader, are supposed to interpret this. It's very uncommon for victims to reach back out to their assaulters, let alone plan a second encounter so that they can try again. I will elaborate more in the next segment. Fawning, underlined, is the explanation she has given us to explain why she was sending these messages, but this cannot always be the case due to the true nature of what fawning is defined as. What Wren said. In her document, she says what fawning looks like. In the following pages, you are going to see me being kind to the person who just assaulted me. You will see me comforting him and apologizing, making him laugh. Fawning is a trauma response, and I have circled trauma response, like fight or flight or freeze, except instead of running and shutting down, you start people-pleasing to survive. You become whatever the threat wants you to be, so it does not get worse and more painful. I've been doing this for months without knowing. I have underlined this and put a question mark in front of it. Every time he went cold and I scrambled to bring him back, I was being conditioned into it. By September 3rd, it says September 3, but it should be 3rd. It was automatic. I have wrote under this, Ren claims to have been fawning for months. This goes completely against what fawning is as a trauma response. There was no threat of danger to her safety as she was away from Zeal and had quit pressure months ago. This was not the result of fawning. What I have found, and this is something that I found because I was just curious, I was like, okay, well, what, when does the fawning behavior cease? Because, when does fight, flight, or freeze stop? It's whenever the threat leaves the room. What I found is when the fawning behavior ceases. Fawning is a response to immediate danger, fear, or perceived threat to life or safety. It generally stops being the primary survival mechanism when the threat or fear of immediate danger passes. I've underlined that. The person is no longer in the presence of the perpetrator or the situation that necessitated appeasement. Zombie tries reading English for anything more than 10 minutes. Challenge impossible. And then the line under it is the nervous system moves out of extreme survival mode. The person feels safe enough for the brain to move beyond playing dead / life to processing the events. Read that well. Read it again. I had to read that a couple of times. You might only have to read it once because, yeah. Anyway, by this point, when the message was sent, Ren and Zeal were separated from one another. There was no threat or fear of immediate danger. It would be hard to argue that she was in danger when Zeal was not present. I am no psychiatrist, but this does not fit the description of fawning. The continued engagement is why I personally cannot see this as the case. It would be one thing if it was once, maybe twice, but this continued over multiple days and even later into the month after RDC passed. I'm sorry, this is not fawning. And then there's this message. This comes from the Twitter DMs. Apparently, this is fawning. And it reads, this is a message that was sent by Ren. I'm going to read it off. Wait, I want to describe you with words that come to my mind. You're adorable. You're sweet. You're a good man. You're You're beautiful both inside and out. You're handsome. You're gentle. You're loving and lovely. You're caring. You're patient. You're strong. You're kind. You're warm. You're grounding. You're generous. You're trustworthy. You're active. You're hot. You're sexy. You're creative and talented. You're funny as fuck. You're comforting. You're brave. You're impressive. You're dedicated. You're charming. You're bold. You're unforgettable. You're precious. My brain dictionary broke. Kisses you if that's okay. Sorry about yesterday. I'm really sorry. Apparently, this is fawning. And this is the sources from the 18 plus Twitter DMs. Do not look at these DMs if you are not over the age of 18. There's a lot in it. I had the unfortunate pleasure of having to read through all of them. It was not fun. It was not fun. Okay. Anyway, the next segment. The second encounter. Zeal had suggested a second attempt to try things again, to which Ren said, okay, with exclamation marks. Zeal says, I got some errands to run, like a makeshift dinner and Dave & Buster's. Maybe if you buy condoms, we can try again tonight. Ren says, okay, but I don't know how to buy those, and blank is around too. You might have to do that. Ren states in her document, I said okay, and then immediately listed 2 reasons I can't do that. I have underlined that and put 2 reasons why you can't buy condoms. I do not express desire or anticipation. I say okay and then create friction. I became someone who has learned that saying no directly is not safe. Someone who introduces obstacles and hopes the plan falls apart on its own. A fond response that has been rehearsed across hundreds of messages because does not become desire simply because it's expressed with an exclamation mark. Okay. I would agree. However, While this does look like compliance and not consent, left out context shows that this is something that both parties were extensively planning and mutually agreed to. Wren omitted this information in the original document. I'm going to read the screenshot, and then I'm going to read the segment under, not the transcript, because I'm not going to read two things twice. Anyway, here's what it says. Wren says, females are super emotional beings. No, that's the thing. Most guys aren't. You learn, makes things so much better. Trust me. I'm trying to teach you. Porn just jumps straight to things, but in the real world, you got to build it up slowly. That's why I said when you're free later, you can Google and search. Give you an idea. That's all. Zeal responds with, got to be around 23 or midnight. That's 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock for my Americans out there. Because I got Dave and Buster's thing with the mates. You can see the message cuts off. And you can see Renda says, yeah, of course it's got to be midnight with me too. But we don't see under it. What she annotates under in her document is, I'm giving him the reason. I'm explaining my own assault back to him in terms that protect him from feeling bad. Not you hurt me, but here's what you need to do differently so it doesn't hurt again. I am sorry for his inexperience, offering to teach him to treat me how I deserve to be treated, with gentleness and care. He does not acknowledge what I have just said. He ignores me, then tells me to come around 11 p.m. or midnight after the Dave and Buster's with the mates. I underlined this part. He has set a time for the second attempt. I underlined this. He did not ask if I wanted to try again. End of underline. He announced when he would arrive, and I complied. Wren claims Zeal did not ask. Zeal asked. You can see right here in the message above this one, or well, rather, he did ask. He asked right here. Maybe if you buy condoms, we can try again tonight. He asked, right? Maybe if you buy condoms, we can try again tonight. Wren claims that Zeal tells her that he is coming over and nothing more. And in this screenshot, yeah, it kind of just looks like, all right, I'm coming over at 23 or midnight and I'll be there. However, here's the remainder of this conversation. I got this from the third source, kind of keeping it in order here. Sorry, I know I'm jumping around a lot. Got to be around 23 or midnight because I got a Dave and Buster's thing with the mates. She says, yeah, of course, it's got to be around midnight with me too. I'm meeting redacted person today, going shopping and hanging out. We can text each other when everything is done and over. She sends an emoji that is like a character blushing. Zeal says, okay. Wren says, want to know something funny? 2 months ago, I wrote a poem about you because maybe nerd around tonight about it and show you what it means and stuff. Because I write poetry in both English and Arabic, been good at it for many years. Zeal says, oh boy, hi poem writer. Wren says, is that bad? Below is another piece of information that was omitted in Wren's original document. This is another piece of context that wasn't included in the original document. And you can see they are both mutually planning this shit. Zeal says, we can try again tomorrow if it doesn't work. Wren says, okay, yeah. I thought this was the last time. Same, I just can't stop thinking about you. Now, if I was in this scenario, and actually, I'm not going to self-insert, right? But what I will say is that if I were looking at this just right now, you want to know what this looks like? This looks like two people are planning to have a second encounter, right? Okay, you're awesome. Zeal said, think about blank, and then Wren said, okay, you're awesome, with a heart emoji. Zeal said, got it, hangout time, see ya. Wren said, have fun. I said, you both agreed to text each other once you both were finished with your already planned commitments. This is a mutual agreement that you both have been planning out. Additionally, Wren, you have not made it apparent that you do not want this. Even in Wren's original statement at the beginning of the doc, it doesn't make sense. She put in her opening statement in the original doc in regards to the second night, during the second night, a day after, when I was trying to talk to him about respecting me, he placed his bare penis against my intimate area and said, don't worry, I won't put it in, I just want to feel it. I became scared immediately. I was afraid he was going to ignore what he had just said and penetrate me anyway. At that moment, I was terrified of becoming pregnant and felt completely unsafe. Underline that part. Let's see. I remember silently praying that he would not do it. No penile penetration happened in both nights. This is the only thing that I have underlined within this entire document that lines up. There are probably other things, but for the most part, a lot of this is bullshit. It says, and then I highlight this under in red, but he did everything else, and I put a question mark at the end. The paragraph above is a contradiction to what you said in the private Twitter DMs. Read the screenshots in order for context. Let's read these screenshots. All right, zoom in here. Let's go over here. It reads, but yeah, like, don't sweat the lube thing. I didn't get it because it was late and I didn't have time to. I would have gotten if I could. Ren says, oh, your spit was good. I just never felt wet there in a long time. So I was like, whoa. Like, it was like, what the fuck? Shit don't hurt no more. In parentheses, or in quotation marks, Zeal says, I don't get wet, and then you thought it's because I don't like you or something. Nah, I got it. If a girl needs lube, she needs lube. Or in this case, if a guy needs lube, he needs lube. That's why I didn't try to put it in. Which, is why I highlighted no penile penetration happened in both nights. Ren says, oh, okay. You can call me a girl. It's okay. Zeal says, because you said it hurt. Ren says, I'm gender fluid now, so you can use whatever pronouns. I don't mind she. Ren responds to the, because you said it, wait, that's why I didn't try to put it in, to ye. And I'm really glad you care a lot and didn't try anything uncomfortable with me. Zeal responds with, eats out my Ren. Zoom out. In the screenshot above, you can see that they are talking about the second encounter. You claim to be scared and completely unsafe, but the private Twitter DMs say otherwise. This is a contradiction. Oh yeah, this shit. Okay. This is another snippet from the Twitter DMs. It reads, from Ren, it reads, that thing used to scare me a lot like from the past. So I thought I could never change my mind about it and I wouldn't want to see one ever again. But nah, bro fixed my existing trauma. I miss the way your body smells when you hold me. Your body smells really nice and I don't know, it's memorable because it's still in my nose when I want to remember. I don't know how I can remember that. I have really bad memory. How can someone fix your trauma by existing when they have also contributed to your trauma? ? You also claim to have a really bad memory. I think they speak for themselves. Moving on to the next segment. The definition of consent. Okay, to those who have seen the clip, you know what I'm talking about. Through much of Ren's document, her idea of consent is very confusing. There are times where even I, yes me, the writer of this doc, have expressed my confusion over Ren's definition that is never truly defined in the document. In her document, she writes, I said sure. Then I don't mind because I'm single, so I don't care. I'm not enthusiastic. I was exhausted. I spent 9 hours in a conversation where I named what he did to me, apologized for naming it, comforted him, and explained what holding someone in a hotel room means. Watched him call it getting zesty, accepted the terms he offered, and gave away my music. Sure is not consent. And I underline this, sure is not consent. And I've already said what I needed to say about this. It is what is left when someone has run out of energy to hold a line. It is the sound of a person who has already given everything and has nothing left to protect. I write, this shit genuinely has me confused. The next thing, the segment reads, this is the moment his weeks of work paid off. Weeks of repeated physical framing had echoed back what he wanted to hear in our text messages, which he used as cover to act on my body at RDC without asking. I like being carried around. In a Discord chat at 6:41 p.m. is not consent to someone you have never met in person. I underline this part. Enthusiasm is a hypothetical, not a consent, and enthusiasm is a hypothetical, As a hypothetical? In a hypothetical is not consent in person. Sorry, Jesus fucking Christ. Zeal says, I can carry you on my back and arms whenever. Ren says, can we do that at RDC? Please, please, he. I mean, I guess I'm small. I'm not sure. Can we please do this? That's asking for, can we do something? You are giving an affirmation that you want to go and do something. Can we please do something? If I say, can we please do something, and then you go and do it, don't be mad when that someone goes and does that. Because you have asked them to please do it. That does not make sense. This is not a hypothetical. It's not a hypothetical. It's an affirmation. Zeal says, yeah, I can carry that. Ren says, yeah, I like being carried around. The last person who carried me on his back was my cousin because he's also strong, but I bet you're like way stronger. Also kind of my twin brother. Dumbass, I used to scare him when we were kids. I gotta zoom in. My glasses are not really picking this up. Last person who carried me on his back was my cousin, because he's also strong, but I bet you're like way stronger. Also kind of my twin brother. Dumbass, I used to scare him when we were kids with scary stories and jump scaring him. Look who's a scared bitch now. Points at myself. It's kind of silly because he's studying medicine now, so people in the family value him more than me because I'm an artist and it's not really looked upon as cool. Meh. Anyways, yeah, he carries me around and kicks me around. Zeal responds with, that's going to be me at RDC. Pick you up and toss you... pick you up, toss you around, and kick you a little. Had to lock in. The statement under says, I further state that being carried in is a friend/brotherly thing to me. Zeal at 6:50 p.m. That's going to be at me at RDC. Pick you up, toss you around, and kick you a little. He announced his plan. He did not ask if I wanted this to happen or in what way. You literally said, can we please do this? Can we do this, please? And I put that in the annotation. Next up, this is whenever he sent one of his weird ass bunny pictures. He says, want to do this, and it's like two bunnies on top of each other. Ren says, yeah. That's the closest we've gotten to just a clear yes in this entire document. At multiple points in the document, there has been written consent. One of the things I have highlighted in a video that I made was how there was a huge time jump in between where a potential consensual response was given. This is a screenshot from then. This is whenever the first picture, whenever it started, hey, can we do this? Zeal asking if we can do this. There's almost a 19-hour window of time that is absent from the doc. Why are we excluding context? This is where I started to notice that we were starting to omit certain information. To this day, I am confused at what Ren's definition of consent. I don't know. Okay, you said sure isn't consent. It doesn't take a fucking rocket scientist to realize that sure... Sure is an affirmation. Sure is consent. You're not saying sure ? You're saying just sure as a statement. You can't tell all the tone of her text. You gotta be specific. You gotta really be specific. I've already crashed out about it. Let's continue. The next segment. The don't worry, I won't tell anybody statement. This is without a doubt the biggest lie that Ren has told within the entire document. There is a lot of information. This is where a lot of... I'm tripping up over my own words. This is where a lot of information is omitted and where she rewrites the narrative. Zeal says, K. Well, that just happened after the first sexual encounter. Ren says, lol, sends a voice message. Don't worry, I won't tell anyone. You're so fucking lovely. I mean it. You want to know? I fantasized about you multiple times before. I guess it's just not the right moment. Like, it worked multiple times when I did it alone and thought about you. Zeal says, the gooner. Ren says, spams keyboard, LMFAO, but misspells it with a P. Slams her head into the keyboard. You're so fucking funny, man. The voice message is this. We're going to play this voice message. And I've linked it into the document, so you're welcome to also go and take a look at it yourself. The voice message is this. I just realized that my sound was off on my computer. We're going to play that again. I'm sorry.
Just Okay, listen, it's fine. I don't want you to feel bad about it. You genuinely made my day. Like, genuinely. Listen, I'm really happy right now. Like, please don't feel bad in the slightest, okay?
Ironic. Anyway, going back to the document. This was not available in the original document. Ren has written in her document. Is that a word? Written? No, it's not. Written? Yeah, my bad. Ren has written in her document, if what happened in the room was something I wanted, I would have not needed to fabricate proof of my own desire after the fact. People do not invent fantasies to retroactively justify sex they enjoyed. They do it when they are terrified the other person will retaliate, withdraw, or punish them for being the way they want them to be. For not being the way they want them to be. The way he wanted me to be. In quotation marks. Don't worry, I won't tell anybody. Anyone. My bad. Read that line again. If this was consensual, why would I need to promise secrecy? I've underlined this part. Why would my first instinct be to ensure him that nobody will find out? I underlined this next part. I am protecting him. Seconds after he assaulted me, left me under running water, and made a joke about me coming forward, I am protecting him. I have said secrecy was promised because Zeal wanted to keep his sex life private, as he was embarrassed about how the first sexual encounter went. In quotation marks, he confirms this and even states it in his response document. Zeal wrote in his response document, bullet point 1, this was my first time being intimate with anyone, ever. This is my first time I'd seen another person in a bedroom naked, the first time I'd kissed anyone, the first time for everything, and I was plainly embarrassed. I was embarrassed that I had touched a woman intimately for the first time and that I didn't manage to satisfy Ren properly. I was embarrassed, so I left out of embarrassment. I wanted to leave and be alone with my thoughts, and because I was embarrassed that the encounter didn't go as well as first times are meant to be. The next bullet point reads, Ren was assuring me that it was because I was still embarrassed. The next bullet point, I washed us both up because I had read somewhere that showering after sex was a good idea. And I, of course, wanted to wash off Ren because I felt like the right thing to do. Some aftercare. The next bullet point, I left in a hurry because I just wanted to be alone. The next bullet point, I read the Google Doc. Wait, hold on. The Google Doc comment was a joke about me being shit at sex. That there would be a report about how bad I am at it, not at all about a false narrative that anything we had done was unconsensual. I don't know why I struggled so much with that sentence. I did everything I could to ask Ren if X and Y was okay and got that reassurance first before anything. Zeal's embarrassment is reinforced by the message left by Ren. The voice message again. Let's take another listen to it.
Okay, listen, it's fine. I don't want you to feel bad about it. You genuinely made my day. Like, genuinely. Listen, I'm really happy right now. Like, please don't feel bad in the slightest, okay?
Now, guys, I'm by no means as wise as an elephant. But hearing that does kind of back that claim up. Just a little bit. Nothing too crazy. But thought I would point that out because the voice message was not included in Ren's original document. Now, whether it was intentional or not, I don't know. I will say, however, that leaving that context out would shake up how her story of it being, kept as a secret because she was sexually assaulted. Just think about it. Anyway. Zeal in his document writes, my request for privacy. Okay, this is like an inception of documents here. Hold on. He has. Okay, this is also the line that I'm also going after. Is I'm protecting him. You can see it right here. Zeal writes, I asked for privacy as an instinct of my embarrassment and how I had not been good for a first timer. Zeal's request for privacy is backed up later in the document as he shows the outburst that Ren had after he confronted her about it. Read left to right, top to bottom for context. I don't know if he... I do remember going over this, but I will do this because I'm going over my entire document. Zeal says, dude, I'm being told you're telling people. Can you stop? Ren said, what? What do you mean, who? Zeal says, our business. Can you fucking not? Ren says, who did I tell what? Zeal says, this was meant to be private. I'm being told it's 5 people now. Ren responds with, what? Who the fuck? Who is it? Zeal says, you should have known because you told them. Ren then says, who told you? I told. Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Zeal, I'm not saying that, but you're making them uncomfortable. Making them uncomfortable. Ren, Zeal, who is it? Zeal, oh, this is like going back and forth. This is a little difficult. You're making me disappointed that you're telling others. This isn't cool. Ren responds with, Zeal, please tell me who said that. Zeal says no. Ren says, Zeal, I need to know. Zeal, I need to know. Zeal responds with, I'm not saying who, but it was a big enough of a problem that they are telling me. Ren says, is it redacted person? I'm going to punch redacted person in the face today. Zeal says, why did you even tell redacted person? Ren says, he knew, he found out by himself. Zeal says, doesn't mean you have to fucking talk about it, like, come the fuck on, man. Ren says, so I admitted it. Zeal says, it wasn't person. I gotta zoom back out. It's a little too big for my eyes. Ren says, I'll deal with this. I can figure who it is. I can figure who it is now? Yeah. Zeal says, I explicitly told you not to tell others about it, and you told them. I don't care if they knew. Ren says, I'll deal with this. Zeal says, I asked you not to talk about it. It says KT, but I'm guessing it's supposed to be it. Ren says, I'll deal with it. Zeal says, I don't want to talk to you anymore. You've broken my trust. I can't trust you now. Ren says, fuck my life, fuck. I'm going to grip him. If you know what gripping is, it's so I don't say, you know what, I'm just going to fucking say it. I don't care. You know, all my Roblox players, you know what this shit is. I'm going to kill him. I'm going to fucking kill him. Zeal says, it wasn't person. Ren says, I'm going to kill him. My heart rate is so high right now, I can't stay here. I'm going to find him now. And punch the living shit out of him between the seats. I wrote, the picture that has been painted up to this point by Ren is that it was being kept a secret because it was sexually assaulted? Because she was sexually assaulted. It was sexual assault. Okay, you can read it the same way. This is a lie. Ren excluded all of these messages from her original document. Right here, I've underlined this. This is from her original statement in the first page. He made fun of my attempt to come forward about it. What followed caused me to attempt suicide on the night of the Roblox award. He then reconnected with me after I survived and went home. Hold on, guys. Let me go ahead and make this blue so that is from her document. My bad. I needed to make sure I had that. Anyway, Ren makes the claim that Zeal made fun of her for coming forward, about it, but nowhere in the messages did he make fun of her for this. This is quite literally defamation. The messy aftermath. The name speaks for itself. Oh, this is the next segment, by the way. The name speaks for itself. This is when it really starts to confuse me. So this was days after, right? I'm stupid for you. I'm stupid. I wake up. I remember. I get flustered as fuck. I'm going to tell you, yeah, what else do? I tell you it's your fault, motherfucker. Kills you. Dumb, fucking hot, fuck, dumb, stupid, fucking hot, dumb ass who's attractive and cute and fuck an idiot. I kill you and like, I don't know, dumb ass. Fuck you. I used to think naked men were gross. How are you fucking God. How are you an exception, KYS? Someone who has made fun of you for coming forward about it, and now you're saying this? That doesn't make sense. I have written, my bad. In Ren's document, she wrote, He sent a follow request. We became mutuals on our private account. This is where most of the sexting happened from that point forward on a platform I gave him access to because I trusted him. I'm not going to document the content of what was exchanged on Twitter. It was sexting. It was mutual at the time. It was also private, and I do not have much of it saved because what happened next made that impossible. She's referring to the account being deleted, and I even gave her the benefit of the doubt here because you got access to deleted fucking DMs. I get it. And then I linked the DMs. You're welcome to go look at it. 18 plus only, please. These were not fun to dig through, but once you start reading them, it makes the claims that Ren made even more confusing. My humble thoughts and opinions. Word around the block has it that we are supposed to get another doc here soon from Ren. It's supposed to contain more context for the original doc and have other victim statements about their own experiences of Zeal. As someone who has covered almost everything at this point, I will do my part and cover it when the time comes. As for my thoughts of what is really going on, I am currently the same age as both Ren and Zeal. I'm 22, guys. I'm fucking old. Voice crack. We have largely different upbringings, cultures, and ways of thinking. One thing that we all share in common is how we all suck at having sex for the first time. Let me just tell you, I was no Johnny Sins Savant my first time. Hell, nobody is. As time passed, I've learned how to tango, if you get what I mean, but more importantly, how it takes two. What this looks like is two adults trying to have sex with only a skewed image of what sex is. These motherfuckers both got a porn addiction. The Twitter DMs are enough proof. It appears that the first encounter went as awkward as it normally does. You both have no idea what you were doing and tried to rush into things without doing the proper research. While Ren had told Zeal that she wanted him to ask before doing anything without her permission, she seemed okay with how the first encounter went. So much so that she, alongside Zeal, planned to try again. This is not the result of some deliberate Eisen-level manipulation plot. Ren and Zeal had a pre-established attraction to one another. Below is a screenshot that supports that statement. This was from whenever the context here is whenever Ren and Zeal were talking about why she was acting the way that she does. But in it reads, Zeal is responding to the "I have a crush on almost all my friends." Zeal says, "Even me?" And she responds with, "Yeah, lol." This was all the way back in May, so they already had a pre-established attraction to one another. This didn't come out of the fucking blue. Anyway, after reading all the messages between the two, that simply looked like a failed friends with benefits relationship. Ren wanted more, and Zeal cut it off because it was going too far. You can see this in the text. Ren is love-bombing Zeal on multiple occasions, and is probably what caused him to cut things off. As to why Ren said these things, I have no fucking idea. I'm not Ren, so I will never know. Keep in mind here, you don't have to agree with me. I'm not asking you to. Opinions are like assholes. We all have them. And then I have a little segment at the end. This is just kind of, to the reader, to Zeal, and also to Ren, because I don't know if they are watching my shit. But if they are, this message is to them in case if they ever come across it. To you, reader, I urge you to come to your own conclusion. The situation is not as black and white as it appears to be. If you have not read the documents, I recommend doing so. Blindly following the general population's opinion and not seeking out your own opinion helps no one. To you, Zeal, I believe in accountability. I believe that everyone should answer to their wrongdoings, no matter the interpretation. You quite literally jumped the gun. You tried to kill yourself. While I am relieved that your attempt failed, I'm disappointed in your lack of resolve. You had everything that you had built start crumbling down in front of you, and instead of trying to save it, you tried to check out early. I hope you grow into a better person and get the help that you need. While some will criticize me for sparing you sympathy, I have only spared you the bare minimum. I am not defending you. I am simply pointing out bullshit where I see it. To you, Ren, I have supported you since the beginning. If you don't fucking believe me, you can go and watch my other videos. Like I have been supporting you. As more and more has come out, it gets harder to defend you when there is so much blatant lying, contradictions, and manipulation on your end. So I will say this. You did not tell the entire truth. You kept out information that spun a narrative that everything was malicious and evil. You know that is not true, but yet decided to tell the world that anyway. I'm not blaming you for the community response or how the others reacted/handled the matter, because you never wanted that. You simply told your story, and with it came a response. I don't know what you expected to come out of this either. People are always skeptical. That is simply how the world works. You ask a question and try to find an answer to it. You have left the doors open for many questions, and instead of answering them, you call them rapist enablers. This isn't helping your case, nor is it convincing anyone to support you. I don't have advice for you, but I do have a warning. At some point, people will stop giving you the benefit of the doubt. And right now, you are very close to that point. That has been my document. Thank you to everyone who has listened. I know it's not quite as long as, say, the other videos, but that is only because I've gone through a lot, okay? So, I finished this yesterday. I decided to record it today. Please, for the love of all the gods and everything above, do your own fucking research. I have done mine. You don't have to agree with me, and I've said this before. There are going to be some hardcore defenders on both sides, still mad that I am being neutral here, but I'm only pointing out bullshit where I see it. You can say that I'm defending Zeal here, and you can say that I'm victim blaming Ren, but I am not. I'm only simply pointing out flaws and inconsistencies within a document that you spent 6 months writing, supposedly. So, yeah, that's going to do it all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.